I'm Conrad Sewell and you're watching Noise11.com.
We welcome into Noise11.com Conrad Sewell, who has been travelling around the countryside with Ed Sheeran, and that's all finished, done, and you've got your life back.
I do, I've got my life back. No, it was, we wrapped up a couple of days ago, so it was great.
Yeah, some pretty amazing venues, and people were turning up right at the start, weren't they? So you were going into a venue with 12,000-13,000 people, as you did in Sydney and Melbourne. There's 12,000-13,000 people out there. Are these some of the biggest shows you've ever played to audiences so far?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was, especially because it's all very new to me. So we didn't do any small club shows or anything like that. I was like, no, smash him onto a stadium arena tour. So it was I was really nervous the first few shows. But it also sounds so good in those venues as well, so it's nice to have that big PA behind you. And yeah, I mean, Ed's fans were camped out overnight sometimes, even when it was pouring down with rain in Brisbane. They were out there for hours, so the venues were always pretty much full by the time I got on stage.
Those wacky Queenslanders.
I know, they were pouring down with rain in Queensland. They were there from 6 o'clock the day before, just sitting in the rain waiting so they could get front row.
Yeah, I shouldn't be saying those wacky Queenslanders, should I? Because you are one of those wacky Queenslanders. I am
one of those Queenslanders. So, yeah. But we are all a little wacky. So no, it was an amazing tour. It's got me hooked on some marinas, so I'm going to have to get to the place where I can play some now.
It is incredible, though, that I guess this is your introduction to Australian audiences too. So you haven't gone through that, playing the clubs and pubs and the small venues to this point. What have I missed? You seem to have made a big jump.
Have. I mean, I used to be in a band. I mean, before I left for America, I did everything in the Australian scene to try and make something happen here, for sure. Playing pubs, and I definitely did the hard yards before I left the country, but just something that wasn't translated for some reason, so I decided to leave and go and write overseas and sort of get a bit more, get a few more things under my belt. And I started a band, and we were in Europe for a while touring with that band, and then I ended up in America. But definitely this was like the home, like the first time really coming out in Australia, and to come back and do like a tour like that with Ed, it was a great launching pad. So yeah, it hasn't been an overnight success, even though it may seem like it's all sort of come out of nowhere.
I've seen you refer to having to leave Australia because in Australia pop was a dirty word. Explain that. I mean,
I think we were just talking about this at lunch. I think when I left, I felt like my style of music anyway, and wasn't getting picked up by labels and stuff like that, and wasn't getting the support of certain platforms that you need, and all my artists and all the music I was listening to was coming from other places. So I got up and I went to find it, and that's what led me to America, and luckily people started to take notice, and I got signed to an American label, so that helped. But I think in saying that, I think it was like that a few years ago, but I think artists like Sia and Gautier and people there's a lot of Australian acts breaking overseas now, and I feel like Australia is getting like, hey, we can get behind these pop artists, even if they're not just Triple J or anything like that, and really push them in a mainstream way, because there is a lot of people that are listening to that down here, and we have enough talent to make our own pop stars, so why not do it?
When you mentioned signing to an American label, that label just happens to be run by Lyor Cohen, who was just one of the giants of the American music industry. How did he and you connect?
Well, he heard the song through a few people at Rock Nation. I think Jay Brown and my manager Austin Rosen. He knew Lyor, and I think they were in London, and he heard one song I have called "Start Again," which had a lot of buzz around the industry, and he signed it. He believed in me, and he's really been spearheading the project. And to have someone like Lyor, who has such an amazing history in the industry, you know what I mean, for breaking so many great artists, is amazing. And you really see that in the way that he's helped me, and he's he's great. I couldn't be more fortunate to have him behind me.
Is he hands on?
That's what I mean. Like really hands on. And the whole 300, my whole label over there is because it's really an independent at the end of the day under the Warner umbrella, and so our whole crew is behind every decision, and Lyor sits in the office and picks up the phone and does anything. And after the Ed shows, he's calling me from I don't know where. He was like in the North Pole the other day or something like that. And he's calling me. He's like, "Don't you ever not call me after a show?" Like, because he was so nervous and excited about the Ed thing. Because he signed Ed a while back. So yeah, it's crazy to have him be so hands-on with it, and amazing for us.
It's not just one Aussie, it's two Aussies on the label. Meg Mac
Mac, yeah, she's joined. We just played a show together at South by Southwest, actually. She's a sweetheart and got a crazy, amazing voice. I think that, the whole 300s thing is just great songs, and they're trying to sign some big voices, and they're trying to sign stuff. They're a brand new label, you know what I mean? So it's great to have Meg on the label. I signed a little before her, so I'm, teaching her a few things.
Yeah. Well, you would have been away last year, I guess, so you wouldn't have seen Meg sort of bubbling up.
No, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Lyor actually came to me and was like, "Hey, do you know this girl Meg Mac?" And I said, "No, I haven't heard of her." But so we got introduced at South by South a few months ago, a month ago, and yeah, she's lovely. It's great to have her part of the family.
She's one of the ones that Triple J is really focused on at the moment.
Yeah, she seemed to get a lot of Triple J love, which is great for her. If you can get it, God bless you. but yeah.
Not quite your scene.
No. I mean, yeah, shoot, play my record. I'd love it, but I doubt it. But I love it.
Yeah. Now, prior to you going in the studio and doing your own stuff, you were writing with a lot of other people, weren't you?
Yeah. No, I was definitely writing. For other artists, X Factor winners and stuff like that, and The Voice winners, and in Germany and parts. Like, I was writing it all from LA, but I was writing for myself really. But a lot of stuff was getting pitched elsewhere by my publishers, and I wrote with Adam Lambert on a couple of songs, and just learning really the art of writing, pop tunes. And I think it's good to write for other people sometimes, take yourself out of the equation as an artist to. Because it's completely different when you're writing for someone else, and you can really put yourself in other people's shoes, which I'd like.
How far did some of those songs go? Like, if you're writing for people like that, did they get to
I had a couple of...
release stage?
Yeah, definitely. I had a couple of releases on the X Factor, and in the guy who won The Voice in Germany, I had his single, a song called Solid Gold. Even some stuff in like Korea and stuff like that gets translated. So I mean, they're all just little things, but it's all little bits of money that keeps you going.
Yeah. But as you said, you've written these songs for yourself originally. Are these songs you've now let go of, or will you continue to perform
definitely.
them?
And some of them I had written for myself. And starting in that song before, I said that was on hold for Kylie Minogue for a minute, and then we pulled it, and I ended up recording it myself. So it's just depends, like what. How connected I am with it, and how much I love the song. Yeah. But the writing aspect of what I did was I've been writing for so many years, trying to find out what it is that I want to say and what style of music I wanted to sort of do. So there's a big catalogue that people use.
So going in for your own record, and you're working with people like Jamie Hartman, Sam Hollander, Eric's in there as well.
Yeah.
These are all big names, successful names, people who've been working with a lot of major artists over the years. How does the collaboration work between you and them?
I mean, it's different. Sam Hollander is very lyric based, so I would. We just get together. I'm very melodic driven as well. So, he had an idea for a song. He had a lyric, for a song called "Beautiful Life," actually, and I wrote the melody. We sat at the keyboard for a bit, and Jamie wrote that with us as well. And we just throw melodies out there, throw ideas. Sometimes it'll come from an experience. Sometimes it'll come from a lyric or some kind of idea. But these bigger guys, don't really have. A set way of doing things. It's all just what chemistry you have with people, and it's also not just because someone's written a hit doesn't mean that they're ever going to do it again. And I've written with people that have written huge songs, and I've wanted to leave the room because I thought there was no talent in the room. And these are people that have literally made a career off writing songs. So it's there's no guarantee. Songwriting is a special thing that happens, and the best stuff always comes from something that's real and that's something organic and a chemistry between two people. And I get that with Jamie a lot. So most of my record is written with Jamie because he's my mate, and it's like writing with the guy who plays guitar in your band. Do you know what I mean? And you can really talk about your personal stuff, and it's just nice to throw melodies with someone who is. I kind of always refer to it as like tennis. Like if you're going to play tennis, if you're just hitting a ball against a wall by yourself, you're never really going to get any better. But when you start playing other people that can hit the ball back as hard as you can, you're gonna have a bit of raise the standard of the game. And that's why I like to co-write with some of these guys, because they're great with melody and they're great with lyric, and it pushes me.
So that's how the collaborations work for the songwriting. What about with the recording, like with Kygo coming in and doing?
Yeah, Kygo was a different thing. I wrote the idea for the song Firestones. I just had a synth pad up on my computer, and it was just like a string pad, and I had the melody and lyric, and I wrote. So the core of the song was written, the concept and the melody, and Kygo. I sent the whole idea to Kygo, and he came in and made it tropical and beautiful, and he changed a couple of the chords as well, and he has such a signature sound as a producer, I think, that it really came through. And when I wrote that song, I wrote that for Swedish House Mafia as like an EDM main room house song, and he came back and it made it this chilled out, vibey, tropical thing. So that was different. That song was sort of cut. The idea was written, and we didn't really collaborate on it. It was more we collaborated when we got together, and he sort of added the production. But that turned out amazing, and I'm so happy that I got to work with him, because he's super talented. Plays. He's an amazing piano player, so melodically he really takes it somewhere.
And will you perform that song together when you're at Coachella? Yeah,
we're doing Coachella both weekends. On the Sunday we'll be performing that song, which is exciting because I've been going to that festival for a couple of years now, and to finally be able to get up on the stage and stand on the speaker and scream out "What up, Coachella" is going to be pretty dope.
Oh, let's just hope there's a live album that comes out of this. Yeah, we wouldn't want to miss that moment. "Hold Me Up" is the first song that people are really getting to hear you for. So I guess there must be a lot of decision that went into picking the right song to let the world know who you were.
Yes, yeah. It's hard because we have a lot of material, like I said, and it's hard to know what to come out of the gate with, because everyone's going to judge you on what you come out with. But I think it was an up-tempo. It was one of the later additions to the thing I wrote. It was probably the last song I wrote for the record, and it was just an up-tempo, fun song that showed off a bit more of the rhythmic side of what I do, and had a bit of a Michael feel, which I love that side of what I do, and I don't get to do it much. So I figured if we put that out first and we show that, because there is some serious stuff to come, and there's some more singer-songwriter kind of vibes, and that could be compared to like Hosier's and Sam Smith's and stuff like that. So I thought if we put out something that is a bit more up-tempo, a bit more pop, then it'll give people a chance to see that I'm not that singer-songwriter. That's not exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do a mixture of that and a Justin Timberlake or something, you know what I mean? So I think it's a fun song, and I think that... we all liked it, but definitely big decisions that were getting made. Hopefully the right ones.
It's amazing to me personally, as somebody who's talked to a lot of artists over the years, how many people actually lead with their first single as one of the last songs that they wrote for the session. Weird, right? What is it with the end of a session? Is there some sort of adrenaline rush that artists get at that point?
I don't know. I mean, to me, I was so overriding by the time I finished. By the time I wrote on me up, you start to not worry about it so much, I think, and you start to just let your hair down and have a bit of fun with it. And I think that maybe opens you up to writing something that's sounds like that. Do you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, not all music has to be, from the depths of your heart, and it's it's some music is just there for people to have fun with, people to drive their cars to, people to dance to, and that felt like that. We would, we'd had some drinks in the studio that night. We were just having fun with it. I think that you hear that in the track.
Is it an album of songs that will all be performed live?
Yeah, very much so. Playing live to me is absolutely everything, and I'm definitely one of those artists that translates a lot better live than on a CD. It's been my problem since day one. It's so live. It's a full band setup, and it's a lot rockier and more organic live than it can be sometimes on the record. So I'm excited to take the whole show on the road and just tour, because that's what I love doing more than any of these processes, and it's just great to be able to have that platform to do.
Is there an album title yet?
No, I've been trying to think. I need to come up with it in literally the next 2 weeks. So, I want something describing the journey that I've been on, because it has been a long journey to get to where I am, and it's taken me a while to figure some things out. So, something that sums that up.
Yeah.
I don't know what. You got any ideas?
Well, I don't know. You've gone from Brisbane to Las Vegas. Maybe it should be Bris Vegas.
I love the Kings of Leon record name. What is it? Young Youth and Manhood?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Wow.
So something a bit nostalgic, but like that sums up, that I'm becoming a man and I'm coming into my music and my this stage of my life.
Well, it's got to be unique. It's got to be something that no one has titled their record before. Yeah. Wow. I look forward to finding out what you come up with. Tweet us when you get an answer.
I will do.
Yeah. Will there be more shows? Will you be coming back and doing your own band soon?
Well, we definitely plan on it. I can't officially announce anything yet, I've been told. But there is definitely some plans to come back later in the year, around September. So people will hear us shortly, I think, if we get it all confirmed.
Okay. Well, we look forward to the news when it breaks. Conrad Sewell joining us here at noise11.com.
Cheers.